Hi, I'm Caroline Stern with Global Professional Services, and I'm here to talk to you about DevOps at EMC. When we talk to our customers about transformation, we talk about affecting four levers. First of all, we increase to seek revenue for our customers and their shareholders while seeking to increase agility and their ability to get products to market much faster. At the same time, we want to decrease risk and errors and decrease cost, which is a tall order. However, EMC's position is that an automated, repeatable software delivery pipeline is a key enabler to change these drivers. I want you to listen for pain points that your customer has. It's very similar to many of our other customers and how we can help with their situation. And I'll talk to you about specific examples like how we helped one customer reduce their cycle time from 14 days to 15 minutes. And it's easiest for me to explain about when I was a software developer for a large financial company. It was a transactional Java-based system, and it had a long cycle time, about 10 months. How it would work is the business analyst would come up with a large batch of requirements. It would actually take them 4 months to create all these requirements, and the reason they had such a large batch was because it was so much work to get it to production. After these requirements were built, the work would go into two streams. Development would spin up their development environments and start coding very much in silos, while the operations team would stand up 3 Wintel environments and 3 mainframe environments. They would stand up test, staging, and integration, and then development, QA, and production. This was all very manual, and it was fraught with error. There was a lot of integration points, messaging queues, database changes, and so this took about 4 months. Meanwhile, once this code was completed, somebody had to merge all that code together and build and compile it. It was so manual and so much work that Bob, a developer, was pulled off the team to do this work. His full-time job became sitting in a room, compiling, building, deploying, and testing this code stream. And if that was successful, he could deploy it to the first machine. If it wasn't successful, he would need to go back and find the developer that made the mistake. And there would be rework to start the process again. If this was successful, then he could deploy it to the staging environment, integration, and then finally mainframe QA. After this was all completed, QA could start regression test. This was a manual process, and this was a mission-critical application. We couldn't take any chances that something would go wrong and affect the company's business. After regression testing was completed, they could do feature testing of the new functionality. All told, cycling through this, it took about 4 months. But also, if there was bugs here, QA would need to go back, issue bug tickets, and have more rework. After this was all stable, we could go to production. That was all hands on deck. It was manual. We would stand up the manual environment, fire it up, make sure those integration points were there, and deploy to production. Inevitably, there was troubleshooting, configuration files, and then we would test in a manual fashion. It took an entire weekend. So looking at the cycle, which really happened, this was my experience, it took 10 months and was labor intensive with a lot of rework. And so I asked you, how can EMC help in this situation? And there's 3 ways EMC can help. And first is we can migrate companies off the mainframe to be more agile to an x86 vBlock architecture. The power of virtualization enables automation, which brings speed. Secondly, we can stand up the federated enterprise hybrid cloud. That would reduce this cycle time of 2 months to a matter of minutes. And I will draw a cloud. It's not my expertise, but you get the idea. So we've gone from months here to minutes. I'll just say 2 for consistency. Next, how can EMC help? Well, we can do a DevOps pilot. This is a service offering in which we take one application and completely automate it through a tool chain throughout the whole cycle. And it's a DevOps pilot. We can basically take your processes, their customers' processes, and have it so a developer checks into a mainstream. The continuous integration tool, like Jenkins or whichever one the customer chooses to use, will kick off the compile on all these processes and do the deployments as well. It's completely automated, it's much faster, and it's visible through a dashboard that will notify success or failure of any step. If something fails, the developer is notified and they can fix it or roll back immediately. This will reduce this cycle time of months to a matter of a click of the developer checking in their code. This overhead of all this manual work is eliminated, and Bob can now go back to development. So this cycle time has been cut at least in half, so we can say it's 2 months now. But something else has changed. Since all this has been eliminated, including the deployment to production, which is now the click of an approval process, we can take these requirements, make them not this massive batch, but when we have a couple at a time, we can put them through this value stream. We can put them through the value stream through infrastructure as a service. We've automated the provisioning of infrastructure. Through the DevOps pilot, we've automated the software delivery pipeline. And now it's not going to take us 10 months, but probably, based on change control board, about a week to get these new features through. So now I ask you, have we increased revenue for the customer? Yes, absolutely, because the ideas that they had to bring new products and features to their customers have been implemented in a fraction of the time. Have we increased agility? Yes, by definition, this is now an agile software development process. Have we reduced risk? Yes, because development and QA and production, they all look the same now. We're not worried about a flag being yes, that should be no, no being yes. And finally, have we reduced cost? Well, we've taken so much waste out of this process that we've absolutely reduced costs, and we've liberated resources for innovation. And we have case studies such as TIA-CREF, where we have implemented this, and we've reduced their cycle time throughout this from about 14 days for a particular process to 15 minutes. And that is the success of DevOps at EMC. Thank you.